On April 26, 1986, the number 4 reactor at Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded. Located near Pripyat, Ukraine, the accident resulted in numerous casualties. The response involved more than 500,000 personnel and cost the Soviet Union an estimated 18 billion rubles. To this day, it remains the worst nuclear disaster in history, causing 1,000 square miles of land to become uninhabitable. It was an event that humans had never seen before, leaving a permanent scar, a reminder of just how fragile our lives and existence are. This series tells a story of what unfolded that night, in the aftermath of dealing with something that has never occurred on the planet before. And it's terrifying. The best way I can describe Chernobyl is that there is a constant sense of dread. And that dread never goes away. Much like the actual place itself, you never truly recover. This sense of fear and dread derives from a combination of a few things. That's disturbing imagery, radiation poisoning, and the human deterioration. The radiation is presented as an invisible monster that drains the life force of the characters with just a mere glance at it. With every passing second, Chernobyl creates a sense of urgency, as time becomes the most important aspect to every character. The time they spend with their loved ones, the time it's going to take them to stop this, and what they'll do if they run out of time. While the unseen horror of radiation poses as the main threat of the series, it does not shy away from showing us the human threat that the main character, Valery Legasov, faces. Jared Harris delivers an anxious and frightened performance, as he has to maintain the spread of radiation. At the same time, he's met with constant suspicion from spies, the KGB, and the Soviet government as a whole, who are more interested in maintaining the spread of information rather than radiation. The parallel between trying to stop the spread of these toxic materials while also dealing with the harmful conditions of a society that is obsessed with not looking weak. And as we delve deeper into the reasons why such an incident can occur, it becomes apparent that the disaster and the atmosphere itself can be a metaphor for the operation of the Soviet Union. The smoke bellowing and looming in the background like some monster that's unleashed death upon the world. The society they live in is portrayed as some sort of utopia that appears pleasant, with people genuinely happy to be there. However, on closer examination, we discover just how fragile their society and insecurities actually are, suppressing even the slightest issue. They live under the government's invisible, aggressive, watchful eye, which filters down through these characters, allowing them to be engulfed in so much denial and lies. It's what practically defines them. Having said all that, the show is incredibly bleak, with many characters, especially the plant workers, who seem to already know what their fate is, and are met with people in a society that doesn't care. It's too late to change anything. A particular scene that sticks out to me is when Akimov and Topnov are ordered to open water valves to cool down the core. They know that the core has probably exploded, and what they're doing is pointless, yet they still do it, causing them to be exposed to lethal levels of radiation. What I think the show does best is portray just how terrifying radiation can be, and just how little most people knew about it. For example, when one of the firemen picks up a piece of graphite in his hand, which then seconds later burns straight through his hand. It's a silent killer, and quickly turns these people into walking corpses before they've even realised it. After the immediate panic attack that is the first episode, we're quickly thrown into dealing with the clean-up of the accident. We're shown this through the complex relationship between Jared Harris and Stellan Skarsgård's characters, who start off as two men who are worlds apart in terms of viewpoints, with Skarsgård's character appearing to be an antagonist. Gradually though, the two men become close and form an unlikely bond, perhaps because of the sheer weight of having to deal with such a problem. My favourite scene between the pair is one in which Legasov has to explain that they'll both be dead in 5 years after being near the reactor for so long, in which Skarsgård gives a truly human reaction that breaks through his character's hard exterior, and Harris stands there with a slightly guilty look on his face, having to deliver the news. Because of the government's desperation to cover up the country's image, they send more and more people to their deaths. with men who don't know the true magnitude of what's going on. They go willingly, and let's be honest, without a choice. While the concept of radiation poison is scary, the way the show is shot and the imagery is also terrifying. Even scenes that aren't meant to be necessarily scary come across as just unnerving. Accompany this with sound design, the show truly becomes something that sticks with you. The noise of a Geiger counter makes you feel like the atoms are coming through the screen, just screaming death into your ear. Chernobyl isn't just trying to portray the horror of radiation, but instead to examine the cost of danger and human fallibility, mismanagement, ignorance, and just unawareness. How they can all lead to something like this. The true point is that no matter how much you bury the truth, it will always find a way to come back. And how the human problem matters just as much as the radiation itself. Turning a blind eye and promoting a culture of ignorance and deceit. They tried so desperately to preserve their image and identity that they caused an entire town to be stuck within a moment in time. A haunting reminder of not just what radiation is capable of, but what a nation built on lies can become. And that's why Chernobyl is truly terrifying.